everyone, and welcome to another bonus and live episode of the DCL Duo podcast brought to you by my Path Unwinding Travel. You couldn't tell this, but while we were in the background, me and Chris were both rocking out to our opening
I was
title
dancing
music.
to the music. My goodness.
You were.
So fun.
I need to say before I jump into the show, I need to say this show is also sponsored by the WDW and DCL magazine. We are expecting the DCL magazine to come out, I believe, in early 2025. So super exciting. DCL magazine is a new addition to the WDW magazine family. They've got a magazine already, print and digital, for both Walt Disney World and for Disneyland Resort. The Walt Disney World one, I believe, is monthly, whereas the Disneyland one, I believe, is maybe quarterly. Anyway, DCL one is going to come out hopefully soon. Super exciting. For those who have not put themselves on the wait list, make sure you do go to wdw-magazine.com. And if you check out their store and use bonus code DCL Duo, all caps, you will get 10% off your purchase, whether that be a subscription to the magazine or one of their countdown calendars or the like. So enjoy that.
See on the social media that they said they matched their numbers. They got their numbers.
They did. So it's that it means at any, I don't know their exact timing, but that means real soon. But of course,
exciting.
The more the merrier with regard to that. But anyway, I'm super excited. As you can tell, it's me, Sam, hosting without Brian. Brian, he's kind of adorable. He doesn't want his opinion
of the kind of adorable. He's totally adorable.
Yeah. He doesn't want his opinion to be like too influenced by myself, Chris, or of course Karen last night, because we're getting on the Treasure for the Maiden Voyage on the 21st this Saturday. And so he wants to he's seen, of course, a ton of pictures. So it's not like he's going in completely blind, but he wants to go in with more of a sort of a fresh perspective rather than being influenced by all of us. And so
anyway, the atrium will be freshly washed.
Yes, freshly washed. That's actually, Chris, you bring up a great point. As folks know, we mentioned this on the show last night. The sprinklers went off in the atrium about 11 a.m. So right before boarding for the cast member cruise that's going on right now. So right after
concierge were coming on, they got soaked.
That would be kind of hilarious. But right after Chris and I and Karen and the rest of our friends had left the cruise, and so we have seen, it looks like there's not any like major damage. It just looks like they have, they still have the area roped off. I had seen a post from friend of the show, Judy, who is on right now, and she had mentioned that they had taken the blowers away and the ropes down, but then put them back up. So they obviously things weren't completely dry yet. So that's what's going on the ship. I don't know, as of now, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's dry by now. We're talking 7:30 p.m. Eastern right now. So hopefully. Anyway, I wanted to, of course, introduce my guest today.
I launched in without.
Yeah, no, I love it.
You completely messed up your introduction.
You did not at all, Chris. Everyone knows you, I feel like, because you've been on a whole bunch of times with Brian and I. We've talked ABD, we've talked Disney Cruise Line. As people may or may not remember, you were on our Norway cruise. You were also on our podcast cruise. We are friends in real life. I have proof of that. We sat next to each other in every show in the Walt Disney Theater. Every show we sat together, all three of them. Fun. Yeah. And so this is a funny question. Linda's asking, so is Brian not editing these episodes? Linda, the funny thing about these live episodes is they are such a light touch edit to these shows. It's really just putting on like the different intro and outro music. And Brian asked me give me what's like a funny quip that could be at the beginning of the show. And then I helped him find it last night. So after the live show last night, for those of you who remember, I was talking about Seize the Adventure and it being the best of the sort of compilation shows, and that, folks can have their own opinion, but this is my show, so they're wrong. So anyway, so I directed him to that, and that became the opener for last night's show. So yeah, so Brian still edits these episodes, but when I talk about editing the live episodes, very different. Recorded episodes have a much heavier edit because obviously they don't have video involved, and we might record for quite a bit longer than an hour. Whereas here we're doing everything live. So if there are bloopers, they stay in the show. Yeah. And Taryn's saying she doesn't blame Brian
Always say
the same way.
recorded live or something.
Yeah, but she's pretty much a spoiler alert failure. I love
Right.
it. I love it. All right, and Tinfoil Mouse Ears is excited because it's the first episode after my announcement that Moana is the best stage show in the fleet. That's right. Yeah, amen. Right, there's a time before the treasure, and now there's the time after the treasure. We're in the after the treasure.
Sorry, I don't want to mess up your show more, but it's Moana
saying hi. Right? Okay. Well, let's jump in. How about we just jump in right there? Well, no, actually we should jump in with first impressions, Chris, because we have this beautiful atrium that we all got to walk into. I'm going to show the atrium statue or Grand Hall statue so that folks can see what we're talking about. I'm not going to show as many pictures tonight probably as I showed last night. But I do want to show this one because this is obviously the atrium statue. Everybody sort of recognizes this is sort of the center or hub of the ship when you're talking about Disney Cruise Line. Chris, your first impressions when they announced, welcome, Chris, to the beautiful Disney treasure. And they clapped, by the way. I want to tell people, I think a few folks realize this from a video I posted. They did clap. It's not like the Wish where they haven't clapped.
Yeah, no, it's my first impression was we've been following this treasure we saw it when it was first announced, and then we even saw when people were in New York and got to see it. Even these photos that you're seeing do not do it justice.
Absolutely.
It is just and I listened to your show last night, and then we had a show yesterday as well. All of us came away with the feeling like, oh my goodness, is this going to be dark? Is this going to be too masculine? Is this going to be too fill in whatever word? It's not. It is embracing and warming and just, it is a lovely space. And it's funny because I was talking, my colleague Federico, who is also with Dreams, and I were doing the trip together. And I said to him, my frustration with the Wish is they don't seem to use that space.
Yeah.
In this ship, they use that space. That space is a place you want to hang out.
Yes.
And in fact, I on our show, I credited you. I'm going to credit you again because you said the Wish is better for weddings because it's that gorgeous white and it's just it feels
pink and
it
just
romantic. Feels like a wedding cake for goodness sakes.
Yes.
But so if you're doing a wedding, do it on the Wish. But this ship just feels the colors are so warm, and as I say, the photos just don't capture how absolutely lovely. And the incredible detail that is in every time you turn around and look, and you just do 15 degrees and you look there, oh my goodness, look at that detail. Everywhere you look, there is incredible detail. They have thought about everything. I loved that space.
I know. I'm with you. And I love the entertainment in this space that you mentioned. We don't have this space utilized enough on the Wish. With it has a stage, and they do Who's Behind the Curtain on the Wish. They're going to do Who's Behind the Curtain on the Treasure as well. They mentioned it. I don't think we actually saw it, but they're going to do. There's more, we know, because we saw they did the Jungle Cruise competition that I was participated in. They did an Aladdin retelling. There's clearly more stuff that's going to happen in this Grand Hall than happens on the Wish currently. I'm sure there's more. Obviously, we were on a 3-night preview. Right. As Chris mentioned, he was an invitee through the travel agency that he's a part of, which is Dreams Unlimited Travel. And actually, I want to tell people, Chris just hosted a show for the Diz on their DCL show. It's on YouTube if you want to watch. It's him and a bunch of the Diz Unlimited team who were invited on to 2 different sailings. A couple of Chris and Federico were on the same sailing that I was on, which was mostly TAs and some media. And then Rhino, and I forget the other woman's name, Chris, you have to remind me.
Hannah.
Hannah, that's right. Rhino and Hannah were on the cruise right before, which was also a mix of media and travel agents. And so both of them being 3 night sailings. And so they probably had very similar experiences as we had as far as what things were
But
offered.
for me, it was interesting to hear other folks who had the same impressions of,
Hmm.
all of us had been following this ship and tracking it all the way along. And all of us came away with this. Okay, they got this one.
They
Nice job.
absolutely.
Really, they did it really, really well. So I was really impressed, and I want to put an asterisk in that. I'm the Wish class ships, and yes, they're the Wish class ships, not Triton or whatever. They're Wish class ships. The Wish class ships are not my favorite ships. I think
Hmm.
they're designed weird. I don't like the adult area is. Um, so my biggest problem with the adult area is that they're actually louder. On the other ships you have kids walking through, but these areas are louder because on normal cruises you'd have the funnel vision going, and all that noise goes to the back of the ship, and so
Hmm.
it's actually ends up being louder than. And one of my jokes as a travel agent is I always say the quietest place on the planet Earth is the adult pool on a Disney cruise,
Yeah.
because I have actually seen somebody point to a item on the menu and say, quiet, I just want this drink. Because they're enjoying the peace and quiet that is in that space. It's not that quite that same way on the Wish class ships, because
Yeah.
you do have the funnel vision noise coming.
Yeah. That's a good
Um,
point.
but
The Yeah,
but
I mean, listen, the Wish class ships are all gonna have the same layout
correct.
issues, right? So, like, for people who don't like the 2 elevator banks instead of the 3, for people who don't like that the adult-only spaces are kinda spread out through the ship and that there's more of them, but they're mostly smaller, right? That we don't have a great Azure lounge or something like that.
And can I just
Those Yeah.
pause there for 1 second? I don't mean to interrupt, but I
Oh, no,
just
you're
want to say
fine.
my frustration was, okay, so we don't have the third bank of elevators, and we have this stage, but the stage wasn't being used.
Right.
All of a sudden, this stage is being used,
And it
so okay,
completely changes it,
it
right?
can, and it was a hangout place. And for our cruise anyway, we had, and I think you got to talk to the folks for longer than I did, but we had the voice of Minnie Mouse.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had the person who invented the Haunted Mansion wallpaper.
So I
We
actually
had,
have pictures of this. So let me
yeah,
just show. So this is the
that's
voice of Jasmine.
Jasmine.
So
That's
she's
Jasmine, for
this
goodness
is the
sakes.
speaking voice of Jasmine.
Yeah.
I got to interview her. We
I'm sorry. I'm
had
having wine because it's been,
You should have one. You've
by
been
the
at
way,
Universal all like
I'm
doing
I'm at
travel agent
Universal,
stuff.
so I'm in a hotel room. This is not
Yeah.
normally where I record. So
Yeah.
I'm in a hotel room at Universal, and I've been in Universal, and I need a glass of wine. So
You do. So this is Tanya McKnight Norris, who I'm standing right beside. I got to interview her. She was an Imagineer, who focused on sort of the decor, and so she did a ton of the decor for Haunted Mansion and for New Orleans Square in general and Disneyland.
and can I tell a
And
lovely story about her?
yes,
So
absolutely.
as part of, we went on, and in fact, we did it with you guys. We did a post-trip report on that, on an Adventure by Disney Backstage Magic trip,
Hmm.
and you go to I believe it's a Tamarack Tavern or something. It's in Glendale,
Right.
where Disney would actually hang out, and they have Disney seats and everything. And she and the guy who created the Mickey Mouse, I mean, another like Disney legend, are there. And my son, Nick, who's now 13, he was 9 at the time, we sat with her and chatted. And the piece of that trip that Nick remembers is sitting with her. And we go through the Haunted Mansion now, and he looks at the wallpaper and he says, I met the person who did
Who
that
created
wallpaper.
that? Yeah.
And
It's
I told
funny.
her that, and it was lovely. She just like, oh my goodness,
Oh,
I impacted somebody's, it
I
was
love that.
lovely to make that kind of connection. So,
Yeah, and Ashley's saying, because she went on that same ABD, over spring break this past year, Chris, and she's saying she wallpapered Tanya, as well, and so and Linda's saying it was Tam O'Shanter. It's in Los
yeah,
Feliz,
Tamer Shannon is in
yeah,
Los Feliz. I
yeah,
should know the name. I grew
yeah.
up in Los Feliz, so I should know the name, but I'm old, so give me credit for remembering anything. So
Yeah, and this is Stacia. Stacia is a Disney artist and historian, and so I got to interview her as well. And she, of course, drew this lovely Pluto. For those who don't know, Pluto is Nathan's favorite character, and so
oh,
she asked me.
My Sam's favorite character too.
I love
There you go.
that. And so she asked me what character, what's my favorite character, and I asked her to draw Nathan's favorite character instead. And it was amazing because as she's drawing, like she's talking to me, she's not barely looking down at the paper as she's drawing. It was quite incredible to see. I don't think I have a picture of Minnie. I have video. So I actually interviewed. This was media had access to these folks were walking around the ship also, but they had a certain time where media could go and interview them. They handed out obviously their signatures and whatnot. And so I even though I wasn't technically invited on as media, I'm still a part of media. So I just, you
got to be pushy.
yeah, you just be pushy.
Go down. There's the
You know,
picture of us at the one of the
oh, of
shows.
course, of course. I have 3 of them, Chris.
I know.
I
This
have
was the last
3.
night because I'm wearing I had shirts for every night, of
Yes,
course.
this
So
was the last night. You
right.
are correct, Chris. I love that you can tell what night it was
Yeah. It's the
based on
night
the
I went to Coke.
clothing.
So
Yeah, well, let's talk. I want to talk about some of the other spaces. I want to start with actually with Scat Cat, because I know that you had a lovely drink in Scat Cat, but I want to talk first about the space. What did you think about Scat Cat, Chris?
So Scat Cat is just off the main Grand Hall, and to be honest, when I was on the Wish, I've only been on the Wish once,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really notice the space.
Mm-hmm.
So I was paying more attention this time. Last time I was on with my kid and my spouse, and so we're like, I wasn't as focused. This I think this space is underrated. I think
Yeah.
it's one of 2 hidden gems on, and I know you talked about this last night, but the paw, and you can see there on the piano there are cat paws, and
Yes.
the
Do you
cat
remember the
paws.
specific fact about the cat paws?
Well, there's 2
There's
amazing
2, right?
facts.
There's 2 amazing facts.
One is it's the
The
actual dance that they do in
Yeah.
the movie,
Yeah, so
which
CT was asking last night deep cuts, and we didn't get a chance to address this, but this is one of the deep cuts that I love, is that the paw prints, as you mentioned, are the exact dance pattern from the 2 cats who do the dance across the piano in the
which
movie.
is so lovely.
It is so cool.
I don't know how they managed to figure out what the steps were from a cartoon, but there you go. They
Right?
figured it out.
They absolutely
They have
do.
more time on their hands than I do.
Yeah,
So, um,
I
the
love that.
other little tidbit that you can impress your friends with is there's a one paw print, and it's as you look on the very bottom of the piano, there is the 1, 2, 3rd over.
Right,
There
this
you
one
got
right
it,
there.
and it's a
Yeah.
little lighter, and it is the
It's a
actual
slightly different shape.
correct, and it's the actual paw print of the lead Imagineer who worked on it, whose cat passed away while
Yeah.
they were doing this, and so she put her cat paw print. And I don't know if you saw on your tour, heard on your tour, but there's a poster
I
just
have a picture
outside.
of that.
Oh, there you
Let
go.
me bring that up. Because I put that in this album as well, Chris, because I thought that was a really
It was
fun fact
lovely.
that we could
I mean,
talk
so
about.
it's those little things
Yeah.
that Disney, and so the
This
cat
cat
that's
right here,
over,
right,
yeah,
hanging,
bingo.
this
Yep.
cat hanging is the one that was the artist's, cat.
Look at me being all goofy. I'm pointing to it as if that makes any sort of difference whatsoever. Like, oh well.
I love that. I love that. But this is a really cool space. I want to talk though. I have actually a picture of the drink menu, I believe.
So they
Um,
have a fancy drink in there.
yes.
It's called what's it called? Can you? I can't see it. Meow meow or something. Cat's meow. Cat's meow. There it is. I
Okay. I'm
remembered it.
glad you remember it because I can't see it. It's not
Yeah.
big enough in my for my
Cat's
face.
meow. It
Yeah.
is the drink is actually lovely. It's expensive. It's $130. You don't have to pay the $130. Get the drink, and it's like $15. But it comes with, look at that, this glass. I
Yeah. It's
hope
really cool.
my Sam.
I hope he's not
I
watching.
hope
I
he's not
know.
watching because I'm going to that. There's one of his Christmas gifts. He's getting that for his Christmas. But the glasses are just lovely. So they have this one, and they have a clear white one.
Right.
I thought this one was more lovely. They feel a little Cheshire cat to me, almost more than it
Yeah, a
doesn't have
little
kind of a
bit.
Cheshire look to it.
Yeah.
Um, but they are absolutely lovely glasses. Oh, I have it back there. I was going to have it as a prop and be able to hold it up, but I can't.
That's okay.
Um, but the glasses are lovely. They're nice weight. We will use that glass and love it.
Absolutely.
And so so you can do that. But the other ones, and I know you guys talked about it last night, but the other ones come in. They have a whole series of drink that come like in a tea kettle. I want to say
Right,
kettle, but it's not a kettle.
teapot, yeah,
Teapot.
yeah, teapots.
It's a very fun place. And the other piece that I noticed was there's lattice work that feels almost kind of Moroccan that comes across the top. So you can kind of feel the transition going from the Moroccan kind of space that is the Grand Hall into more Paris that is the Aristocats, and you can feel that transition taking place. I think they have given thought to every single space on this ship, and it's lovely.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk a little bit about Periscope Pub. I have
Oh,
to find
the other underrated.
Yeah. Yeah, so we didn't talk about this last night, and I realized, we just didn't quite have enough time, and I thought I had some pictures in here, but,
So
let me see if I can
this
find
is
them.
what Skipper. What do they call it on the Wish? Skipper something.
Oh, no, Keg and Compass.
Keg and Compass. But I mean, I remember being in there, but like it felt. I don't my least favorite B word. It felt a little boring.
Yeah.
This room is not boring. Go into this space, even if you don't. Even if you're not a fan of 20,000 Leagues, I was never at Walt Disney World when they had the
Mhm.
submarine there. I've done the submarine at Disneyland a whole bunch of times. Still remember, still love doing that. I did it then. I did it today, where it's more Nemo focused.
Mhm.
Um, this is a lovely space. It is absolutely lovely space, and even though you have the portals look out onto the ocean, they're mostly covered. There are fishes going overboard. Did you go in your tour and they told you where the fish came from?
They didn't take us into Periscope Hub in
Oh,
our
really?
tour. Yeah,
So
so each shore is different, by the way,
the
yeah.
video comes from Living with the Sea in the
No!
aquarium at Epcot.
That's awesome. That is
So there
very,
are
very
these
cool.
touches that, again, this is one of these Disney things that nobody, unless you
Yeah,
do this tour, you don't know this stuff.
totally.
But it is thought given that connects these places with one another. This is why we love Disney. This
Exactly.
is why we want to go to these places, because you don't may not know these connections, but these connections are all the way through in every space in the ship. And
Absolutely.
it's just lovely. So
Absolutely. Sorry, I don't have a picture. I thought I had teed some up, but unfortunately, they did not seem to load into this,
okay, go online and see them.
yeah, and I
Or
actually
be Brian and don't go in with zero spoilers. You don't need any spoilers.
well, I
It'll be
did
there when you get there.
I did do a reel, so if you're on Instagram or Facebook, there's a reel that I did of Periscope Pub, and so you can see what it all looks like,
Well, the other thing they did was there are different beers for all the different locations, and so they have.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
really go
and
deep
I
dive on
didn't.
the
I
menu.
don't.
Yeah.
If you notice the little whatever, I don't know what they call it. I don't drink beer, so
Yeah, yeah,
I love a
the
glass of
handle
wine. I'm not
things.
drinking beer.
I know what you're
Um,
talking about, the handle
the
things,
handle thing. There's
yeah,
one with
on the
like a sea, like
yes,
a
like an
tentacle.
octopus, they tend to like a kraken or an
So
octopus or
go and
something.
enjoy
Yeah.
it's a lovely, lovely, and of course the 718, which is kind of throughout the ship, but there's
Mhm,
several places where it's in this space. 718 is the whole number of this ship, and
mhm.
so it's kind of again, those things are. I love those things. So
Yeah. So another space I wanted to talk about briefly is the Jade Cricket Cafe,
oh,
which I just adored. I thought this was such a great new coffee bar theming. For those who don't know,
the
Jade,
cricket. There's the cricket.
yeah, there's the cricket. I have a better. There's that wrong direction. I have a video that has a better that will show this better. But let me play the video and we
And
can chat.
Mushu is in that painting that is right there,
Oh,
kind of
that's
in
right.
the
Yeah,
background.
kind of in the background. But this is a Mulan themed, of course. But it's themed for the cricket, which is he's like a little sidekick character. Obviously, he's not the main sidekick, Cricky.
Pre-K, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know. Who knows?
I think Cricky. But he's another sidekick. Mushu's obviously the main sidekick in Mulan, but he's a fun little character, and he gets his
But go
own
back one because
cafe.
where so Krike is sitting in that like
Yes, in this
glass,
little
and
cup.
he has his
Yeah,
antlers back, and he's
he's
kind of
like
has his legs
he's
up,
taking a
and
bath.
he's like kicking back, enjoying a cup of coffee or a good
Yeah.
adult beverage or something. I mean, he's relaxing,
Yes.
and it's lovely.
Yeah.
Again,
I thought this space was really well done, and
and well, and I don't know if you got the entry. They have this very like it just feels very
yes.
Chinese
Yes, it's like this
entry.
round this
You
is
can't even
actually a
see
really
my
great, like, sort of Instagrammable spot. I have a picture of myself and Karen in that spot, but there's a bunch of people behind us, so I feel like the picture didn't come out as nice
photo.
as I
You
would
need to
have. I
Photoshop
know
them.
I need to
I
figure out
got
a
one, but I
way.
didn't send it to you. So
Yeah, that's
I'll
okay. But
next time.
anyway, this is a beautiful space. I wanted to point this out because we talked about Hey Hey Cafe last night. These two are on deck. One of them's on deck 4, one of them's on deck 5, and these are great because Cove Cafe is like so far away from everything. It's in that adult only area that you were talking about
Not
near in the
not
pool deck
only is it
area.
far away, but our stateroom was on deck 10 aft. We were looking out the back of the ship. We had the
Yeah.
extended veranda,
Mhm.
which we can talk about later if you want. Very nice. But in order for us, and again, this is the Wish class ship thing. I felt like a rat, like looking for my cheese. Like I had to go up and over and outside, and then up
Right.
another level, and then inside again, and then around the back to a dead end. Just like okay, and I didn't get any cheese.
Yeah. Well,
They
Cove
do have
Cafe
my
is
nice
just
they do have
2.
my nice tea that I'm a tea
Yeah.
drinker, so they do have tea, but I found out that at Hey Hey Lounge, they have my tea as well,
Oh,
so
there you
guess
go.
what?
So,
I
I
don't
think
have to get the cheese.
right, you don't have to go all the way to Cove Cap. I actually really like this about the Wish class ships that there's really 4 different places to get good coffee. And I'm not talking about on the pool deck, and I'm not talking about the stuff that's in those
Um,
big carafes in the dining
right, that's not good coffee,
no,
but,
that's not
we'll
good
go on.
coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the Hey Hey Cafe, the J Cricket Cafe, Cove Cafe, and then also in Marceline Market, there is a coffee bar. Again, it's not the Joffrey's coffee. It's a real coffee bar. When you first walk into Marceline Market, it's kind of in the center, and you can buy your real specialty coffees. I don't drink
They
that regular
they
Joffrey's
also
stuff.
do, drinks there. I will tell you,
Yes.
don't get a margarita there. Just
Okay.
my
Good
suggestion is go to
good tip.
someplace else
Go
that the
someplace
main
else.
thing they do is margaritas and not well,
Yes, and Ashley is saying these cafes are great on Disembark early morning. Agree. I ended up,
correct.
only one of them was open. I can't remember if it was Jade Cricket or Hey Hey, but I went to one and it was closed, but the other was open because we were on deck 6, kind of between mid and aft, and so this was literally one deck away, right? So one of them was on deck 5, one of them's on deck 4. I just don't remember which is on which deck, but, yeah, that was great. I all I needed before disembarking was just my coffee. I didn't want any breakfast because I had eaten so much the night
Right.
before at Marvel. Speaking of
I'm of course so
Marvel,
obsessed that Ashley has a K and uses it on her Instagram or her YouTube page. But there you go.
yes, yes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I wanted to talk very briefly about Marvel. I know Chris did not eat at Marvel because he went to Apollo for him it was night 1, for me it was night 3. We were in different rotations, although we were both in late dining, and that's why we were able to see all the shows together. But I didn't talk about it last night. I want to let folks know that the new Marvel show, which is focused on Groot and Rocket, is really good. It is less, let's call it less intrusive to dinner than
Mm.
the original, than the night 1 show that's on the Wish. It's very entertaining. In between the sort of video storyline, while you're just kind of sitting and talking or eating dinner, there is trivia that comes up on the screen, and the what do they call those things? The thing in the middle that you use for the
The
Ant-Man
shrink thing,
show.
right?
Yeah, yeah, I can't think of the name of it
Right.
off the top of my head. I'm having a mental block, but they have different colors, and you press which color based on what you think the answer is. So they give you, it's multiple choice questions. Nobody's scoring or anything like that. But I have to tell you,
You don't
none of
not
my
get dinner if you answer wrong?
right, no, no, and none of my
No dessert for you.
yeah, none of my dining companions were Marvel people, so I was just, like, lighting that thing up left and right. I was like, whenever I would, like, see that there was a question up, I would hit the button and it would light up green if I got it right, or it would light up red if I got it wrong, and then it
Quantum
would light
core,
up
thank you, Vanessa, thank you.
quantum core, thank you,
And
yeah,
Tracy, thank you
awesome.
all. Yeah, you're exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so anyway, I wanna just tell people it's fun. You don't have to do the trivia because nobody, like I said, nobody's scoring you or anything like that. It doesn't score at all, but it's just kind of a fun, like, thing to have instead of just having, like, on the other night show, just having heroes kind of appear with descriptions of them. So this is, it's a fun little sort of interactive thing
Is
to
the
do
first day
during dinner.
show, do we think that's the first? I don't remember them saying, so I'm
Yeah, so I think the Wish show
basically the first.
is like the first one. I don't know if order they, who knows? They might change up the order, but I think the Wish one is the night
I
one,
think we
like
saw second day shows on
yeah,
both. So
exactly, exactly. And we had the second 1923 menu as well. I will say I thought that the Marvel menu was quite good. Oh, Tracy's asking 80s music. The answer is yes. The music was excellent. That was, in fact, my table mates, because they're not big Marvel people, they loved it because of the music.
oh
They
well.
thought it, and the food was quite good. I thought there were several really good dining options. I can, for example, there was a pasta with shrimp dish that Leia ordered that I tasted that was really, really good. I had a chicken with peri peri sauce, and I ordered a soba noodle dish, which is similar to the ramen dish on the night one menu. I also had a chicken satay. A lot of folks ordered the ahi. It's an ahi bowl, not ahi tower, very, very similar, but not exactly same as the ahi tuna tower chips. Everybody was really happy with that appetizer. They had the porcini sacchetti, which is in the animators. I believe it's the animators alternate menu. So animators night two menu. It's similar to truffle persets, but it's not the truffle persets. It is not truffle. It is just like regular mushroom. So it has a different flavor to it.
Hmm.
It was very good. So I ordered that as well.
Does
So
it meet the
some
Sam
it does. It's listen, it's not a truffle percent. So
okay.
it's like, but it's like one step below truffle percent. Let's put it that way, because the truffle persets are the best, I think. But yeah, the porcini sacchetti is what it's called, and they are really cute. They're like, little purses. Is That's sort of what they're supposed to look like.
Just because it deserves attention, Linda's comment up there where she says Disney, we need a criquet shoulder pal. I mean,
Yeah.
amen. Thank you,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes, I love that
And
too.
Linda needs to copyright that really fast.
That's right, absolutely. And Tracy's asking, I wonder if Josh will approve. I'm gonna say if you don't like the truffle persats, you're probably not gonna be a huge fan of the porcini sacchetti, because they're not the same. There's a different flavor to the mushroom flavor is different, but it is like the same pasta and it is like the same cheese. So probably not. I'm just gonna venture to guess that. But I do want to talk about I want to talk about Coco because
Coco.
I want to get Chris's take on the Coco dining experience and of course the show that happens and the food. You all heard what I thought about it last night, so you don't care to hear that again. Let's hear from Chris.
Well, before I talk about the rest of it, they invited us in, and we got to meet the director of Coco the movie. The Miguel was there, the voice actor for Miguel in the movie.
Yeah, not this Miguel, but the voice actor who
Not the
played
voice
Miguel in the
actor from the
movie.
original
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
who spoke the day that we were doing this. He said was the day he was 8 years old when he found out that when he auditioned for that show. So it was like this weird. He's now 20, by the way. So it was this weird, and afterwards, I don't think he had ever seen a number of people rush up to get photos with him. I mean, I think he had a little bit of terror in his face, but
It's too
it
funny.
was, I do have a selfie with him, and there's a person in between us who looks like she's being smashed.
I've
So
seen
because
you
I was
showed me
going to
this
get my
picture on
photo,
your phone.
I know.
I didn't
I'll
I want to
find
be
it next
I want to
moment.
be clear. There were some events that the travel advisors were invited to that I was not, so I did not get to hear the voice of Miguel
Well, to be
speaking.
fair, they allowed lead guests of us. I was the redheaded stepchild. I was not allowed to these, but I was
You went
pushy
in
and got my
anyway.
way in.
Yeah, I love it, Chris. That's what I love about
Because I
you.
was going to not miss Miguel being there, and I was
Yeah,
going to see this stuff.
yeah.
So I was luckily we worked our way, and it was lovely, and it actually added to the experience
Mhm,
because the director of the movie spoke about how he was on the Mexico ride in
mhm.
Epcot and went under. There's a bridge, and in fact, we went on the ride after we got off the ship. We went on the ride and experienced right when you go through, and all of the skeletons are there doing their thing, and that was his initial idea for the movie Coco. And and so now you have this show, and this show it's so my pro tip is see the movie watch the movie the week before you go on the cruise, because you're going to want to have this fresh in mind.
That's a really good tip. I'm gonna, you know what? I might actually download it onto my iPad to watch on the phone, well, to watch on the plane tomorrow
So I watched
because
it on my flight down to Orlando because
yeah,
they happened to have it on JetBlue when I was flying down, and and I was so glad that I did, because all of it was very fresh in mind. And the movie is better than I mean, I watched it the first time, and like I remembered how gorgeous the colors and the decoration, and it was gorgeous, but I didn't get there's a wonderful meta moment in this show where you are there with your family, and the characters are who, half are dead, and are talking about appreciate the moment, which these
yes,
days we just rush by moments. And we're on this amazing ship. We're in this amazing space. We're sitting with amazing people. Just take a moment and enjoy that moment with those people, because we never know what's going to happen.
yeah.
And so just it's a wonderful recollection. The story is wonderful. I I'd seen some people crabbing about the food, and I'm not really the food was not, I don't think they have it quite perfected totally yet.
Mhm.
I didn't have any, particularly in Coco, I thought the food was really good.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought so too. I mean,
we
that we had one miss in that Karen got like what was basically a prime rib with potatoes dish that should have been like in 1923 instead of getting a ribeye that was supposed to be like a Mexican
Right.
ribeye with the right accoutrements. And so it was just the wrong dish, but we think it was a supply issue or something that was sort of we asked our sort of head server, "Hey, this was supposed to be a ribeye." And anyway, that was probably the only miss. Everything else was quite good.
We had been in one of the gift shops, and a one of the people working there is Mexican, and she
Mhm.
said she recommended the enchiladas as a
Yes.
starter, which
Yes,
I
that was
thought
super
were
good.
so
Very, very
thumbs
good.
up.
Yes.
And then the black bean soup, which I also got.
Mhm. I got that
Somebody
too. It
who's
was a
been
little
there,
bit of a kick to it, but
I'm
it was
I'm
good.
really spice. I'm a cautious spice person. It
Mhm.
didn't bother me. I loved it. Um, and I forget what I had for the main, but I thought the food was lovely. I thought last night you guys talked about immediately when you sit down, when they bring you chips and salsa, order more salsa, because you're going to need more salsa.
Yes.
But otherwise, I thought it was I and different. Well, two important things if you're going on this ship. Number one is there aren't as many dark spaces, blackout spaces
Mhm.
as are as in
In Arendelle.
Frozen
Yeah.
Arendelle, which is huge. So don't you don't have to worry about that as much, which is great. The other thing is the show doesn't feel as invasive as Arendelle. Like, I almost didn't know when I was supposed to eat. Like,
Right.
is it okay to eat now, or am I supposed to be? It doesn't
Right.
feel as dinner showy, I guess.
Yeah.
And I said there were two, but there are three. The ladies dancing with the, I
Yes.
thought I could have watched that all night.
Oh, yeah. It was really
They were
beautiful. And the
just,
mariachi band was
the
really
mariachi band was phenomenal. I
fantastic.
thought the entertainment was just off the charts. Really,
Yeah.
really phenomenal.
Love that. I want to talk very briefly about 1923 night 2 menu. This to me was actually the weakest of the menus. It wasn't, nothing I had was bad. It just wasn't, nothing really impressed me that much. So I just wanted, we don't have to go into great detail because it's the one show or one dinner where there isn't any kind of show involved. Our dinner
So the
kind of took,
food should be a more
so
standout,
right,
right?
exactly. So you kind of expect the food, and I really like the 1923 night 1 menu that we know from The Wish, and so it was a little bit of a, "Oh, well," but it wasn't a, like I said, nothing was bad, it just didn't really wow me. One thing, though, I wanted to say, and this, is something Karen and I talked about on board, is if you are someone with food allergies, any kind of food allergies, it would be this is actually, Karen said this to me, and I thought this was a brilliant thing, so I wanted to impart this to our listeners. I would recommend asking for the rotation that starts at 1923 because you will actually have time to talk to your server about your food allergies or food aversions, and they have a little bit more time to pace your meal and to get you that allergy friendly food because there's not a show. Of course, with Marvel and with Plaza de Coco, they
They
are
feel
having,
more harried.
right, and they're having to sort of bring the food in between parts of the show and all of
Right,
that, so it's definitely something to be mindful of if if you're going on board for the first time,
right.
especially. I would, I think that's a great recommendation of where to start.
That's a
Um,
great idea.
yeah, Linda said that Christy, I think she means Christy from the DCL podcast, posted the allergy menu and some of the food looked better than the regular menu. Doesn't surprise me. The Wish has great allergy friendly menus as well. I don't have any food allergies, so I don't have experience myself with, requesting allergy friendly food, but I know, many others who do and who've had obviously mostly good experiences on Disney Cruise Line in general.
I have a good friend who has celiac, and she's never had an issue. So,
Yeah.
I they generally are pretty good about that, and I mean, Christy is very good about that stuff, so I'm sure she paid attention to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit about Haunted Mansion Parlor because we can't have a show about the treasure and not talk about Haunted Mansion Parlor. I'll try and share some pictures tonight that I didn't share last night. I'll start with, there's this really cool chair. I believe they call it the Donald Duck chair.
They do call it the Donald
Yeah.
Duck here.
Um, I just love all of the touches in Haunted Mansion. Obviously, this is the fish tank with the skeleton fish. That's really quite cool. This was a concept that Raleigh Crump had for the Haunted Mansion and the Museum of I think the Weird or something like that. That he
Museum
was
of the
going,
Weird, exactly.
yeah, that was going to accompany it. And so this obviously never got put into the Haunted Mansion or to a Museum of the Weird, but it exists on the ship. There is, of course, this clock that I'm not playing the sound because it's quite loud, but it sort of tick-tocks, and we've got lighting effects that happen quite a bit throughout your time there. I showed this yesterday, which is one of the singing grim grinning ghosts. This is actually the door to the cast area. I love this. This is right next to the bar, sort of to the
Looks like
left of
it's
the
pushing.
bar.
You keep expecting it to push out, right?
Right, exactly. And it ghost relations, no entry. So they even like did the theming, there. These portraits also like sing and their faces move and stuff like that. So these are some really cool ones. This is the menu. I didn't show this last night. This is the menu of the drinks. The final vow is the one that comes with the mermaid cup. The last catch is the one that comes with the mariner cup. So these are $50 and $60 respectively. I got the last catch. The reason they're that
But
much is,
you can also get those without getting the cup. So
Correct, you can, and then they're less expensive, then they're probably like 15 or $20. The chilling
and I
challenge
got the chilling challenge,
yeah, so
which
this one I have a video of, I will show this is the Mariner Cup, and with me with the Mariner Cup. This is actually I'll show that video in a little bit, but here oh, actually, here's I gotta show oh, I'll show Madame Leota even with the sound, here we go. It's quite loud. I just had to show a little bit of that because I thought that was quite cool.
I didn't
The
hear it, but
Oh,
maybe other
okay.
people did. So,
Sorry, then it must not have yeah, it probably didn't work,
and
the
these were
audio.
so cool as well. I have
Yeah,
2 of them. I'm
yes,
hoping
I
they make
have one.
one
Tell
without
folks what these are,
being broken.
Chris.
So
Yeah.
they're different, I guess sodas or
Mhm.
are there? Yeah. So they have a lemonade, they have a cola, they have a I don't remember what they're.
Grape. So this one's grape, it's blue. This
Yeah.
one is, cream soda, it's, like, clear. This is the cola one,
Oh,
so it's Grim Grinning Grape, Screaming Soda,
look at
Creepy
this.
Crawly Cola, and Sour Shivers Lemonade, and they all have, like, sort of sparkles in them, and yeah, I brought one home. There you go. I brought the grape that same one, I
Oh,
brought that one
anything.
home for
Yeah.
Nathan, and
Nathan.
so, because he loves grape soda, although he'll probably have one on the ship.
And you
Um
see, it like looks. I mean, it looks like it's moving in there. It's a little creepy. I don't really want to drink it, but
Yeah,
it looks
but it's
really cool.
cool. This is the chilling challenge. This is what happens when you the chilling challenge you get at the end of getting the chilling challenge, you get the death certificate. But
Yeah,
here is
which
actually the
for somebody with
chilling
cancer, I thought
challenge.
was a little dark for me to
Ah,
get,
it
but
was a little
whatever, I'll take it.
it was a little dark. But this is the chilling challenge drink being delivered to the guest next to me. And it comes with, of course, they do a little smoke effect. And then on the very top, it's got this foam, and you had it yourself. And this has Haunted Mansion. They have two different of these effects, and one of them is says Haunted Mansion, and the other one has the three ghosts, the three hitchhiking ghosts. So I thought that was really cool. And then of course I got a picture of me just at this is in the entrance before you go actually into the bar. This
But
is
this
sort of that
almost
vestibule.
the space almost feels as if it's not a big space, number one.
Right.
So
It's the
if
same size as the Hyperspace Lounge, and it feels a little
but
bit smaller
but
because
no
of the
one's in the
fish tank.
hyperspace lounge, so it's
Right, exactly. Well,
um
that part too.
and so it almost feels like you're in one of those mobiles, the ghost mobiles or whatever
Yes,
they're
the doom buggy.
the doom buggy. It feels like you're in an attraction.
Yes.
It like and the pieces just keep coming, and there are multiple of them. I think there are 8 of them that they said. um it Now, I don't imagine, one of my issues with the Wish, and you and I talked about this on board, but like if you're a group of like 10 people, where do you spend time on the Wish together? Like
Yeah, it's
the
hard.
original 4 ships, there are probably 15 different places I can think where you hang out together.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're not going in here because you're not finding space for 15
Not
people.
together. Yeah,
Not
not
together.
together.
I mean, and
Yeah.
so
Your
it's
best chance might be, I would say probably
Skipper,
well, yeah, Skipper or maybe Periscope. Yeah, those are
Periscope.
probably your 2 best options.
But this space
Scat
is
Cat is
lovely. This
yeah,
space is so fun if
so
you
fun.
are even if you don't love Haunted Mansion, this space is you will just love this space. Go
Yes,
and
yes.
enjoy. And I was going to pull out my bed and stay there. I mean, it's fantastic.
I think they'll kick us out, but,
Yeah.
we could try. Well, I wanna speaking of Haunted Mansion, I wanna talk about one thing that they had that's new, which is there are some new, magic shot photo opportunities. There are several
Weren't
categories.
all the magic shots? I mean, I know I saw it because I was kind of
Yeah,
following you around and getting all the magic shots. So during COVID, the company that did the photography on board, well, went out. Sorry, they went out of business. Sorry, it was
right.
hard time,
Yeah,
and so Disney brought it in house, and now they have the magic shots, and I feel look at. I mean, is that not cool?
it's so cool.
But
I loved I loved all of the
all of
haunted
them were
there were
so
Haunted
awesome.
Mansion ones, there were Coco ones, there were Up ones. There were 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea backdrop, but I don't know if there was supposed to be a
It didn't
magic
have a
shot,
magic
but it didn't
shot,
have a
but
magic shot. A cool
yeah, it was the
backdrop. Yeah.
least they could have done a little bit more with that one, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
There was a treasure one where you're looking at the treasure box. I mean,
Yeah.
look at how cool that is.
So this is me with one of these ghosts are named Gus, Phineas, and Ezra. Thank you, Linda. I knew she knows all this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Um, and then so here's
Linda,
each
are
of
you a Disney
them.
historian?
She's a crazy Disney person,
No,
basically.
Linda, no 360 magic
Yeah,
shots, though.
no
Sorry.
360 magic shots. And then
That would be cool, though. A
this one they had
360
me
magic shot in the Grand Hall would be really
Yeah,
cool,
that
wouldn't
would
it?
be really cool. So this one was not actually a magic shot, but they had me pose like this, and with the lighting, it just came out so good, right?
Yeah.
But then here's my oh, I forgot Moana. So here's
Oh,
Moana.
Moana,
This
right.
was a magic shot. So this was high-fiving with the water. And then this one was a Coco one with
Coco.
Dante, the flying dog. Then here's me with Miguel. And then here's me with, the great-great-great-grandfather. I know that the wife is Imelda, I can't remember his
Linda's
name.
gonna let us know
She's
in
gonna
2
let us
minutes.
know, I know
Yeah.
she knows it, because she actually reminded me of it yesterday on the show. Then this was one of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, photos. I didn't include the, here's actually I've got some up ones. I didn't
Very
this one,
good.
they put the sash on me,
Right.
right? Hector, thank you, Linda. And then here's me being afraid of Kevin. Kevin is magic. He was not there.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
so
and
awesome.
then
And there's
of course,
us!
and then there's us, of
Oh
course.
my goodness, we have to talk about
Yes,
Moana, though.
that's where we're gonna go now. So I just want to show. I've got some pictures. This is Beauty and the Beast. We saw this on night 3. So that was this was just the bows. I didn't take photos during the show, I promise. Here are the bows from Moana, of course, and there's Maui and Moana right there in the middle. And of course, right before we get to that, I've got the picture of Chris and I. So, Chris, we've got to talk. We've got to talk shows. You and I went to all 3 of them. Folks
Of
heard
course
from
we
you.
did.
Yeah,
I
folks heard
mean, of course we did.
right. Folks heard from me yesterday, but I want them to hear from you. Tell us what you thought of Moana's the only new one, but tell us what you thought of all the shows on the
I don't
Disney
have 3
Treasure.
thumbs, so I can't do 3 thumbs up, but, like, a 3 thumbs up. I mean, I all of them are, well, let's start with Moana because Moana is the new favorite. It
Yeah,
is so well done, and so
so
get there early because the cast come out into, and we had a great guy in front of us who was showing us about knots. It is so lovely. They have hired, they've purposefully hired cast members who
mhm,
are from Polynesia, and so you can just tell that they want to share the culture and they want to impart this. They are proud
absolutely.
of who they are. And amen, lovely. So we got that, but the show itself, the thing that my colleague Federico noted, and just really came to mind was that so the water is such a character in Moana, right?
Yes.
And how the dancers are essentially the water,
Yep.
and not essentially, they
They
play the
are. They
water,
play the water. The way they dance
and
is in water movement. It's
and
crazy.
I noted to him, like, we always say, oh look, the water is moving.
Mhm.
It they have that kind of motion. It is so well done,
It's so
and you can
beautiful.
tell
Yeah.
they've had, it is beautiful. The puppets at the end are beautiful. Every part of it is beautiful, and of course the story is lovely.
Yes.
So it
I
is.
cried, I think 3 times just during Moana. I
Well, I got
also
you by
cried
one, so
during
I
yeah.
cried 4. So
Okay, there
I
you go.
was like,
I definitely also cried toward, at the end of Beauty and the Beast as well. But yeah, I definitely I cried, yeah, 3 times for sure.
it's so well done and so special and really just well thought out,
Yeah.
and touche
It
to
is
them.
it is honestly like when you see really good theater and it changes you, right?
Yeah.
This is the show. This is a show that changes you.
Well, and the really special thing is that this is the first time Moana has ever been done live on
I
stage.
do kind of love
Ever.
that. I love that
I mean, it's
DCL is
like
the
Lion King has
first.
been done other places, Beauty and the
Right,
Beast has been done other
right.
places. A
Aladdin,
lot of these
all of
shows,
them.
Moana
Yeah,
hasn't been done any place. If you want to see it live on stage, it is on a Disney ship.
exactly.
And it's I'm going to be overly cute here. It's a treasure. It is
It
really a
is.
treasure.
I
It
love
is
that.
a lovely, lovely space, and it's great to see. I love
Okay.
being there.
I have one other set of like 2
The other
photos
two
that
are
I
also
want to
lovely, by the
share.
way.
Yes, they are. They are fantastic. Again, now it has the number 1 and the number 2 show on Disney Cruise Line. Let
Yep,
me just say that.
absolutely.
And the number 1 compilation show on Disney
Yep.
Cruise Line. I got to show this because I love this picture of you. It's hilarious. We're in Jumbo's Sweet Shop right here. You got the popsicle. How was the popsicle? Did you taste it or did you just pose with it, Chris? Tell us the truth.
I posed with it and I had a bite with it, and that
Ah,
was enough, by
that
the
was
way.
enough. It's probably too sweet, right?
So here's my always my if you're doing something special on Disney Cruise Line, you can order a sundae from up there, and they will deliver it in their. And I think I sent you. Oh yeah,
There we
they will
go. Yep.
deliver that to your dining room table in your regular. And you
So
want
this
to
is
have
1923, isn't it?
this
Yeah.
is 1923.
And
It
I see
was
that's Federico's shirt, right?
well, it's Federico. It was Federico's birthday on the trip, so
Ah,
so
that's
I
right.
was trying to find as many ways to celebrate as possible because he's December and I'm Leo. I
Yeah.
celebrate birthdays; he doesn't as much. So
Yeah.
I was going to embarrass him however I could, and I did a
Love it.
fairly good job of it. But so we had this delivered to the table, and it is such a fun, special way. In you can see in all the ships are different; they have different things that they deliver. But what a fun way! And by the way, the ice cream cone there in front
Oh,
is a
yeah.
spoon.
Oh, this is a spoon?
That
Oh,
ice
I
cream
might
cone
have to
that's right
order
there
this.
is a comes out and it's a spoon.
Okay, tell us the logistics. How do you go to the sweet
So
shop earlier in the day
you
and
go to the
order
shop
this?
earlier in the day
Okay.
and you tell them your your dining number, which first or second dining, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They know what to do. Tell them you want it delivered to your dining table, and then they'll give you a tag and you give it to your either your you give it to your servers and say, hey, they're bringing us down, and they will then deal with it from there. But it is a great way, particularly if you're having like a birthday or anniversary or something like that. It is an awesome way to really, really just kick up the celebration, as if you're on a Disney cruise. So you don't really need to kick it up, but if
Yep.
you want to kick it up, there you go. It's a great way to do it.
I love it. I love it, Chris. Well, I mean, there's just so much on this ship. We didn't even talk really about Skipper Society, which is a great space. We didn't really talk tonight about the about Coriander and Sage. I talked about them quite a bit yesterday, but
They
there's
were
so
so
much.
great, right?
Yeah, there's just so much to love on
And the
this new ship.
carpets. I mean,
Oh, the carpets,
the
Chris. Oh my
carpet.
god.
I mean, the
The
carpets are
artwork,
so
they are artwork, the carpets, but
the
also the
carpets
artwork
are
on the
totally
wall.
artwork. So you need to
Yeah.
look down and you need to look up, because when you're walking through the halls, the lights are the way the lights, and I know they do this on the Wish, but for some reason it just particularly touched me on this, how they're,
Yeah.
how the shadow on them shines on so you get like we were on a Finding Nemo floor, so they
Mhm.
had fish sailing around. It just every single part of it is so well thought out, and it was
Absolutely.
I just was like, I mean, as you know, I love Disney Cruise Line, and I was like, okay, this is why I love Disney Cruise Line. This is
Exactly.
very, very,
Exactly.
it's a very, very special place. Go and have a good time. And I always feel bad because I like the Wish is lovely. The Wish is a lovely ship. They and I've credited you a bunch of times for this. The second ships are better.
Second
The
ships are
fantasy is
better.
better than the dream. The wonder
Wonder
is
is
better than
better than the magic. The treasure is
this
better
one's
than the
better.
wish. Yeah.
And those ones didn't even have COVID to deal with. This one had
Right.
the Wish had
Yeah,
COVID to deal with.
this one is even more. I agree. I think this one is even more divergent between the 2, and probably because of COVID, the way that it impacted the build of the ship, the design of the ship, everything, the operations, all of that was really impacted by COVID. All right, Chris, final thought of favorite thing from the Disney treasure. You get one.
Get one.
Yeah, one favorite your favorite thing from the Disney
So
treasure.
and Federico just walked in and he's going to make fun of me. I'm going to say the Grand Hall, because
Yeah.
and this is a big change for me because I was crabbing to him before we got on board that I think the Grand Hall was a wasted space.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
it's
waste
not,
this space.
right?
This
Right?
space is a hangout space. It is a lovely place to be, and just to be there
Mhm.
is so lovely. And they have seats all the way around. So just hanging out there and getting photos and all the things they do there. I walked in and I was like, okay, I'm sold. I'm in. I got it.
I love it.
Whatever else you're showing me, I give it a thumbs up. It was just phenomenal. So
Well, Chris, I love having you on. Obviously, we love having you on. You're welcome back, of course, anytime. For those who don't know, obviously, Chris and I are friends in real life. We have
yes,
a
you
text
just don't get
chain.
that. We live on different coasts.
We
It's
live
so
on different
frustrating.
coasts, but we still, but we very much obviously enjoy spending time together. But Chris, if folks want to book their travel with you, I know you're with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you.
So my main way, Dreams Unlimited Travel. But if you want to reach me, Yensid Travel. Yensid is the sorcerer in Fantasia's Sorcerer's Apprentice, and it's Disney spelled backwards. So yensidtravel.com that takes you to my main page, and you can find me from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining me. For everyone out there, I hope you will watch us soon. We will be back live on December
Tomorrow
28th.
night, right? Tomorrow night.
No,
just
not
kidding.
tomorrow night. We
Just
will
kidding.
be tomorrow. We are flying to Orlando. We are going to be doing a couple of park stays. We will be then boarding the beautiful Disney Treasure for the maiden voyage, 7-night sailing on the 21st. So on the 28th, on the day that we get off the ship, we will be doing a live show that evening.
And we get to hear Brian's thoughts. Yay!
And you'll all get to hear Brian's thoughts. I don't know what time, but I'm sure it will be. I can't remember what time Brian had said, but it'll probably be somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30 start time. Probably 8 or 8:30 start time, because we'll be on the East Coast. For those of you on the East Coast, I'm speaking in Eastern time, not in Pacific time. But we will put that out on social media, so you will know when you will next see us live. So you'll have to wait like a week and a half. Okay. I hope you all can wait.
Enjoy a good break, and you guys do great work. I've always
Thank you
loved
so
you
much.
guys, and happy holidays.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Terrence beat me to it. Happy holidays and safe travels. Everyone sailing soon. I want to wish everyone out there a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday you celebrate. Even if you're just celebrating having some vacation time and having your kids or family out of school, I hope you enjoy that time with your family, and I hope you have a lovely holiday season. We will see you before the new year, but we will see you after Christmas and during Hanukkah, frankly. So anyway, take care, everyone. Have a great night, and we will see you real soon.
Thank you, Sam.